Welcome back, everybody. The RP Show continues. I'll just tell you the Western Dodge text line is open, 902-518-3033. Western Dodge and Moose Jaw, your trusted home for Ram, Jeep, Dodge, and Chrysler. See their full lineup at westerndodge.ca. Guess what, Munzy? Winnipeg broadcaster Brian Munz from Gulf, Manitoba. Guess what they're talking about in Moose Jaw? The Stanley Cup final, buddy. I bet you they are where you are, too.
Absolutely. It's one of the best times of the year, isn't it? I heard you talking before the break about the CFL season, where it is on the calendar. I'm a fan of where it is right now. We've had unbelievable weather on the prairies here for about a month. Obviously, everyone's dealing with the forest fires, and we hope everything is okay for all that can be during that time, and those get rectified right now. But with the temperatures we've had, especially here in Winnipeg, over the last month, I think it's fantastic to be able to get outside and then not have to worry about it in late November when obviously it's cold and people might be a little bit busier on their schedules getting back into school, minor hockey, all the sports that kind of get going in September, October. So me personally, I'm okay with where we are right now.
Okay, well, I'm glad. And Janice, who's in Edmonton, but she's a Stamps fan, she says, yes, the CFL did the right thing in moving up the season, creates the opportunities in getting families at the more exciting games when teams are fighting for playoffs. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, fortunately for the CFL, there's only occasionally a Canadian team in the finals. Would you agree with this? If it wasn't the Oilers, like if it was two U.S. teams, we would not have the fervor across the country that we have. I think that's probably correct.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And because it's a rematch, obviously, of last Stanley Cup final as well, I think there's maybe a little bit more intrigue. But I'll be honest, I watched the first Blue Bomber game at home here against BC to open up their regular season schedule. They had the bye, of course, in week one, and literally just wore out my remote control going back and forth. I think that was game 3 in the series that they were playing the same night. So I watch both at the same time. I know a lot of people don't like to do that. You just want to kind of glue yourself in there if it's the Stanley Cup final or if it's your favorite CFL team. The other thing that I do like, and I know I'm probably bringing this more into Winnipeg than Rough Rider fans or anybody across the CFL, the Blue Bombers have done a really good job of getting that Thursday night game in their calendar here because people want to go to the lake on the weekend. So they've had more games kind of during the week when you can make it part of your schedule, and then you can head out and enjoy late Friday, Saturday, Sunday at so many great lakes that aren't too far away here from the Manitoba capital.
I told Winnipeg viewers that you were coming on. So now I got a flood of Winnipeg Jets questions for you. I got to ask you about the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah.
Has it gone the way you thought that it might?
Yes and no. I thought that Stuart Skinner would probably play a little bit more, but I am in 100% agreement that my golf buddy Calvin Pickard's getting a chance to play right now, and obviously lost the last one, so that one I think hurt for everybody in Winnipeg because as much as you talk to people in this city, no one really wants the Oilers to win, dating back to the 80s. And the 90s, when you had that Edmonton-Winnipeg rivalry going on and the Jets were so good but just couldn't get by Gretzky and company, I think they do want to see a Canadian club win. There's obviously a lot of people that are cheering once again for Paul Maurice and Dmitry Kulikov and other people like that have ties to the Winnipeg Jets organization and would like to see the Panthers win again. So it's intriguing drama to watch and intriguing fodder to have around a golf course or a coffee shop or at a watering hole right now as to who people are cheering for. But to go to the start of your question there, Rod, is people are watching right now here in mid-June. They want to see who's going to win this thing.
All of Canada is waiting to get their summer started. They're waiting. They can't start summer until the Stanley Cup is handed out, and it has been a spellbinding series for sure. Okay, so Freddie from Winnipeg says, hey, Munzy, if Taves comes to Winnipeg, will he be a second or third line center? I can't believe it's going to happen at all. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's an intriguing storyline. There's no question about it. And that is one of the talking points right now, definitely around the water cooler. I think it would be great. I really do. Just the guy is a proven winner. everywhere he's gone, whether it's his Stanley Cups in Chicago, whether it's representing Canada on the world stage. I think he'd be great for the organization. I think the organization would be great for him. And how many years is he going to go at this? Is it going to be one? Does he just want to say, hey, I can come back, do it? Does he sign a 2-year deal? Those are all questions that obviously be coming up and hopefully answered here in the next couple of weeks leading in July 1st. Obviously, Mark Scheifele's your number one center, right? He's proven, played well again in the Stanley Cup playoffs this year. I remember when, the Jets were just kind of coming into fruition and we were down at the NHL draft. The Jets weren't even the Jets yet when Mark Scheifele was officially selected, and he was wearing that black NHL logo jersey when Mark Chibin went up to the podium and then announced on behalf of the Winnipeg Jets, we select Mark Scheifele. So, Mark's grown with this city. I think a lot of the players now that were a part of that magical regular season that they had, and then obviously the 2 playoff rounds this year, the city's abuzz right now, and rightfully so, that, this team is continuing to build. They're going in the right direction. They've got a really good thing going in the community right now. And I think Jonathan Toews would just add to even more of the excitement when the regular season begins in October here.
John Ohm says, does Jonathan Toews want the pressure of playing in Winnipeg?
I think Jonathan just wants to come back and play, and I think being in your hometown would be an added bonus, right? Like, Rod, he doesn't need the money. His hardware cabinet is full. This is now for him to prove that it didn't end the way he wanted it to, right? So, and the nice thing I think about it too is if you look at, and hey, there's probably 10 other clubs right now that are banging down his agent's door to try and get him a part of their organization. But the nice thing in Winnipeg is the group that he has here right now to kind of work around him, starting with the league's most valuable player in net. What a story that is for Connor Hellebuck to wrap up this past NHL season. But you look at the Scheifeles, you look at the Morrisseys, you look at all the different players, Adam Lowry, their team captain, others that Kevin Cheveldayoff has brought in here. It's a good insulation of players right now, both young and old. Cole Perfetti has taken a huge step, I thought, this year. So it's a good mix where he doesn't have to go and he doesn't have all the pressure on him to be the Jonathan Toews that was Jonathan Toews when he was with Patrick Kane in Chicago, right? Like, he can go in, he can just be a piece in this group and kind of move out wherever Scott Arniel needs him in the lineup.
I'm smiling because he's the captain in Chicago. I saw him near the end of his last season in Chicago. They were in Calgary. Both teams were out of the playoffs, if I'm correct. And Toews is out last minute, making the draw in a 1-goal game. I'm like, he's still got it, but it's because, he didn't leave the way he wanted to. It was because of injury. How many do leave the way that we, but whatever. If he has the chance, I'll ask you this. If he's not contributing in Winnipeg, let's say he signs with the Jets, but he's not a contributing factor, that's a tough town. You know that as well as I do. How forgiving would the fans be?
I think they would be. And I'll be honest, I think he's going to step in. He's not going to be, or we don't think he's going to be because we haven't seen him on the ice. Maybe he's going to come back. Look what Patrick Kane has done the last couple of years. He's continued in a new residence and never really missed a beat, right? Like, everybody ages. Look at you and I. But overall, I think the opportunity that presents itself right now, I think just gives so much excitement, and people understand where Johnny is right now in his career, that they want him to come be a piece of the puzzle right now. And I think that's what excites everybody right now. The whole organization is not relying on Jonathan Toews to go out and score 50 goals or whatever those numbers that they kind of draw up right now in the sky. I think he just needs to come in, be a piece of the puzzle, be a good leader for this organization, and just let it play out.
Golf questions coming in. I'll get to those, everybody. Just hang on. The last thing is, I was smiling because Toews wore the C in Chicago, and he was a tremendous captain. And when the Panthers were acquiring guys at the trade deadline, specifically Marchand and guys with strong personalities, there was a thing going around South Florida, Munz, because I was there, that too many chefs in the kitchen, too many cooks ruin the stew, too many leaders. I'm like, you can't have enough leaders. And I think we're seeing that with the Florida Panthers in this Stanley Cup final.
I think what you just said, Rod, might hit the nail on the head right now, just based on you can't have too many leaders. But with the importance of media, public relations, everything like that, when you can have more and more that are eligible to go out there and feel comfortable doing it. Hey, all the young players that come through, and you and I grew up in the Western Hockey League and doing junior across the prairies, these kids are now understanding of what it needs to be a little bit earlier. But think about these Canadian markets, or just air quotes, a hockey market. You've got to be on every day. And if it takes just 2% off Adam Lowry or Josh Morrissey or Connor Hellebuck or Mason Appleton or whoever it may be inside that locker room that does a lot of media for this team on a daily basis, it makes everybody's job just a little bit easier. And at the end of the day, that's what you want. You want an 82-game regular season schedule where your team can focus on the task at hand. That's winning. Look after everything you need to do outside of the actual game itself, and then get yourself to the next point, and that's having success in the Stanley Cup playoffs, which I thought they did this year. There's a lot of good teams in the Western Conference, and especially here in this Central Division, that made a much-watched drama all the way through from Game 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs to where we are right now, waiting to find out if there's going to be Game 6 and it's over, or are they coming back to Edmonton, I think, for what we all want to see in Game 7.
That's why I'll address this more when we're done our interview here. But you and I, you said it. We've been around teams a long time, and in a variety of sports. And whether it was Rough Rider teams, we had a lot of leaders, right? Yeah. It's if you're a quality leader, you will step aside when it's not your time, and when you're needed, you will step in. That's it. We'll talk about that later. John Ohm says, Munzy, how's the golf game? How many rounds so far?
I've played, what have I played? I think I've been out 12 times so far. I've been to 11 different courses. One of the important parts for my gig here with Golf Manitoba is getting out to our member courses and getting out to our non-member courses to try and get them involved with our program, obviously. So I don't play a lot at one or two golf courses anymore. I get to bounce around the province and get to visit with a lot of people, which is fantastic. It's, one thing that is really neat. But in saying that, my handicap's taken a little bit of a hit, but it's good for me because it's getting a little bit higher, so I get more strokes against those good players. But yeah, I've been out a dozen times. I've had a chance to play a lot of great golf courses, and obviously with the weather we've had right now and a little bit of rain that has been falling outside over the last couple of days periodically here, it's good for everybody. Courses are in fantastic shape.
Well, every golf person I've ever known, and I talk to a ton, say they golf less than they ever have because it's their job now. Really? I can put you in that. Well, the pros they're running a pro shop. Yeah. They're teaching lessons. You don't have time to 100%. Golf. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No, when I was with whether it was CJOB or TSN here in Winnipeg, and and I don't want to say just the media member, but when you're a media member, there is much more time to play than definitely when you're working in the sport. And I think that goes for everybody, right? If you're working in hockey and you've got a chance to go play a little bit of rec hockey, or if you're working in football and there's a little flag football game or something, you're probably getting away a little bit more often than not. But I'm still playing a lot, obviously. I love to do it, and it's a great time of the year to be involved for sure.
Of course. Well, I watch more sports now than I ever have. And it's fantastic with this role. One more from John. He's got a lot of questions, but they're all good. He goes, Munzy, what's your favorite Manitoba golf course?
All of the Golf Manitoba member courses.
There you go. There you go. That's a double shot. That's a double.
Yes.
Tony in Cochrane wants to know who won the U.S. Oh, that's Jeff the Stamps fan says, who won the U.S. Open? I have no idea. I'm not following that closely either. I assume you were.
Yeah, what a finish that was yesterday, and kind of a neat story. So it used to be PGA Tour Canada, now it's PGA Tour Americas. JJ Spawn played here in Winnipeg about a decade ago at the Players' Cup, when it was called that. Now it's the Manitoba Open. It'll be held at Breezy Bend Country Club this year. He was involved in that, and he was the big winner yesterday just outside of Pittsburgh. So what a great weekend of golf to watch on the PGA Tour for sure. And I think that adds to the excitement of it right now too, Rod, is you're watching so many of these big events on tour, and now you can get out and play and just kind of enjoy the sport with friends, family, buddy, whatever it is. It's a home run for us right now here in mid-June.
And I've probably never told you this. I'll wind up our interview with this. When I think of you, I think of the SJHL Hall of Fame, and what a wonderful place to be, and the Humboldt Broncos Memorial Golf Classic. And the last time you were on, you teed it up a little bit, and now we're a little closer to it. So what can you tell us about it?
Yeah, we're excited about it. Colorado Avalanche head coach Jared Bednar and Lori Warford and I, we're going into our 8th year. It's hard to believe the time flies like it has since April 6th of 2018. But it's coming up on August 9th at the Humboldt Golf Club once again. They've done a tremendous job hosting our event each and every year. We're very fortunate. Once again, we've got a waiting list of teams that want to be involved. I think we're at 188 golfers this year that we're going to get onto the course for our day of celebration. So, yeah, it's going to be a ton of fun. Hey, you're back in the province. Maybe if you can sneak up, it might be fun to do the show from the patio one day.
Did you tell me what was the date again?
August 9th is the Saturday. 8th is our tee-off party. So what we've turned it into now is the Friday is usually when a lot of our families that come back that were involved in the accident, a lot of our corporate partners, just others that want to be on the course helping the players that compete on Saturday. They'll be playing on Friday, a little bit of a fun round, and then Saturday is obviously our big day, teeing off at noon and going until people decide to go home. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, well, the day Wayne Gretzky was traded, I won't forget that, August 9th, 1988, as I slip into Lynch mode. But, yeah, I'll check the baseball schedule. I'm pretty sure that in the Western Canadian Baseball League, we'll be in the playoffs by then. So I'm not sure. Munzy, how about that? What'd you say? 2 minutes? 2 minutes we got left here before we go. Tell me about the field. Not everybody's name of the 188, but what types of people are in the field for the Humboldt Broncos Memorial Golf Tourney?
You know what? We've got everybody. It's 4-person teams. Obviously, it's a best ball. Have fun. The one thing that we've kind of thrown into our events now that I would recommend to other people that are doing charity golf tournaments is something that I saw a couple years ago at an event. It's called Par is Your Friend, where the 4 golfers cannot shoot over par. So everybody is going to be at least par or better. So if you've got a team that's out there that's maybe a bit more on the recreational side or doesn't golf a lot but just wants to get better to support whatever cause you're doing, put your friends together, have that part of your golf tournament. And it takes people away from the pressures of shooting a 5 or a 6 on a par 4 or whatever it may be. And it kind of speeds up the round a little bit.
All right. I love it. I love it. August 9th, Humboldt Broncos Memorial Golf Classic. So this would be year 7, right? You did it the first summer of the crash, right? August 2018?
Yeah.
Yeah, I recall
so
that.
It's our 8th tournament 7 years ago. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, man. Munzy, as you can tell, I am relentless when it comes to hunting you down to come on the show, and you always do a great job. So thank you for this, and have a great day, and say hey to your wonderful family for me.
I will. I apologize it's taken so long. It's a busy time of the year, and good luck with the baseball. It's good to have the Tom Cheek of Saskatchewan back on the airwaves.
You're the first guy to say that, but I'll take it.
There you go.
Brian Munz, Winnipeg broadcaster, Manitoba Golf Manitoba with us from the beautiful Bison province. We'll be right back. We got a lot to talk about the rest of the way, a sports update and viewer takeover. We got a lot of topics. We'll be right back here on Game Plus.